never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement, and I'm reading it slow so I can understand it fully. Appreciate my standing, go out of this world and right on time. Oh, never in my life have I seen the sky light up like this. I'm far away from Earth and I wanna know if you exist. Mission control, do you read me? Send me my coordinates lately. Mission control, am I drifting? Tie me to someone who will love me, yeah. Wait, I think I'll last a bit longer. Find another.
Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd Family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. It is a Wednesday. It's the first Wednesday in February, the first day in February. So, of course, that means it's time for another weekly Top 10 Countdown. This week's Top 10 Countdown comes to us courtesy a request that came in through the comments section either last Wednesday or last Thursday from the Winning Edge Sports Network. We'll get to it coming up here in a few short seconds. But first, don't forget to go to prizepicks.com and enter the keyword Ref Brandon and double your deposit right now up to $100 just by entering the keyword Ref Brandon at prizepicks.com. And before I get into the top 10 countdown, in case you have not heard, I won't go into full details because this is a family channel and I want to keep it that way, but Clemson has a basketball player named Brevin Galloway who is currently out due to injury. He is scheduled, according to him, to be back during the game coming up on Saturday, but he suffered a tragic injury last week. And as I said, I won't go into details as to what it is because this is a family channel. But I will say it was an injury that happened below the waist, above the kneecaps. And I encourage you to get on Google and just type up Brevin Galloway injury. And I'm sure it won't be hard to find if you just type up Brevin Galloway injury. And as I said, it happened below the waist, above the kneecaps. And it sounds excruciatingly painful. So if he is back for their game on Saturday, he is tougher than I am because I will freely admit if that happened to me, I would probably be out for about 8,968 days. But anyway, on to today's video. As I said, today's top 10 countdown is a request. I always enjoy doing requests. And hopefully, since this is a college football top 10 countdown, and more specifically a Clemson Tiger top 10 countdown, hopefully it'll do good. If anybody you know likes Clemson or college football, please feel free to tell them to watch this video. This is going to be a fun video for me because I always enjoy talking about Clemson, but I try not to make this a Clemson-based channel. But this was actually a request, and the request was do top 10 all-time Clemson running backs. Now, of course, you can get on Google and go to just about any website that talks sports in any kind of way and find their opinion of the top 10 best Clemson running backs. And most of them, if not all of them, are going to have the same 10 guys that I have on mine, just going to be in a different order. Now, of course, Will Shipley will not be on this list because, for one, he's still there. For two, in the 21 season, he was hurt most of the year. And this past season, about half the games, Brandon Streeter forgot who he was. But there's no doubt, no question, that Will Shipley is very, very talented. But number 10, Fred Cone. He was a running back at Clemson from 1948 to 1950. He is in the Clemson Ring of Honor. He left the school with 2,183 rushing yards, and he was the first ever Clemson 2,000-yard rusher. Number 9, Buddy Gore, who played from 66 to 68. He was the ACC Player of the Year in 1967. 2,571 career yards, despite only playing in 30 career games. Number 8 is the guy that I remember very, very vividly. It wasn't when I first started watching Clemson, but it was when I was able to actually not only watch them, but sit down and watch them in peace and quiet. Nobody around to bother me, nobody around to disturb me. And I was in high school back then. Travis Zachary, 1998 to 2001. 3,058 rushing yards, 4,391 all-purpose yards, more than 100 receptions, and left the school leading all-time touchdowns with 50. Number 7, Terry Allen, 87 to 89, left as the school's second all-time leading rusher with 2,778 yards. He averaged more than 5 yards per carry. Number 6, James Davis. Of course, when he played at Clemson, he played with C.J. Spiller, and as a duo, they were called Thunder and Lightning. James Davis was the Thunder part of that. 2005 to 2008, he finished with 3,881 rushing yards and 47 touchdowns. Again, let's recap 10 through 6. This is Clemson's top 10 all-time best running backs. And this is a request that came in to the comments section late last week. And this is Brandon Todd's personal opinion. As I said, if you get on any website or any magazine company that talks football in any kind of way, they're going to give you their opinion of the top 10 of Clemson running backs. But it's going to be most, if not all, the guys I have, just in a different order. Number 5, Andre Ellington, 2009 to 2012, over 3,400 rushing yards, over 4,500 all-purpose yards, averaged over 5 yards per carry, and he also caught 59 passes. Number 4 is the guy that was the Clemson running back when I first started watching Clemson. I was 11 years old when I watched my very first ever Clemson game, and this guy was their running back, and he was the workhorse of the team because back in this time, Tommy West was the coach, and Tommy West ran the option, and he believed in giving the running back the ball more and more and more, and if that didn't work, he would give the running back the ball even more. Raymond Priester, he was running back from 94 to 97. He averaged more than 100 yards per game in 95 and 96, and he left as the all-time leading rusher with 3,966 rushing yards. Back in the 80s and 90s, a lot of the teams ran some form of the option, whether it was the triple option, the wing T, the T-bone, the regular option, whatever it was, but most of them didn't feed the running back that much. They would have fullbacks get the ball and a secondary running back get the ball. And Clemson had that. They also had a quarterback named Nealon Green, who was the quarterback the same time Raymond Priester was there. He ran the ball a lot too, but not like Raymond Priester did. Get on YouTube and go watch Clemson games from the mid-90s when Raymond Priester was there and see how much he got used. Number 3, pretty recent guy. To me, he's a guy that just does not get enough credit for how good he actually was. 2013 to 2016, Wayne Gallman. He amassed 3,429 rushing yards, 65 receptions, and 36 total touchdowns. Number 2 was a guy I mentioned a few minutes ago. He was the Lightning part of Thunder and Lightning. Played from 2006 to 2009. C.J. Spiller. He had 7,588 all-purpose yards. School record 3,547 rushing yards and 51 touchdowns. And Clemson's all-time best running back shouldn't be a surprise. He is currently playing in the NFL, and that is Travis Etienne. He's the all-time leading rusher with 4,038 rushing yards, and he owns the ACC record with 56 touchdowns. Again, if you or somebody you know is a college football fan, or more specifically, a Clemson football fan, tell them to watch this video and leave their opinion in the comment section on whether or not you agree that Travis Etienne is the all-time best running back at Clemson. And Banks McFadden, and if you're a Clemson fan, you recognize that name. He is probably the most prominent name in Clemson sports history. He actually lettered in basketball, football, and track, but he was better at basketball and track than he was at football. But he's probably Clemson's all-time best athlete, but he was not a top 10 running back. Banks McFadden lived from 1917 to 2005. And if you ever go to the Clemson campus and walk around it, it's hard not to see all kind of different articles about Banks McFadden and pictures of Banks McFadden. Don't forget about HFOTUSA.org. Homes for Our Troops is a publicly funded 501c nonprofit organization that builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans. And since the 2004 inception, nearly 90 cents of every dollar spent has gone directly to our program services for veterans. Again, visit at HFOTUSA.org. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. What do you call someone who refuses to fart in public? A private tutor. And that wraps it up for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, Life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.